All right, let's talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. It's been kind of an interesting offseason so far for the Chargers. Obviously, last year they were all in the news with the hiring of Ortiz and Harbaugh. Been a little quieter this time around, but if you just look at the numbers and look where the Chargers have positioned themselves, they have a chance to do a really incredible job and make a huge leap in 2025. We'll break down exactly how and why they're in the position they're in. But first, I'm Nick. This is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, as we get ready for the league year, the start of the league year in March and free agency and trades, draft not too far behind it, the teams that can make the most moves to upgrade their roster obviously will be a lot better when the regular season comes around and the games actually start up again. But the thing is, most of the time, these teams that are in that situation usually have bad rosters. They're bad teams. They have a lot of cap space and a lot of draft capital, or they've got a young quarterback on their rookie deal. So it's just cheaper at the quarterback position, just the way the CBA is structured in the NFL. The Chargers are one of the few anomalies where they're actually a good football team, having already spent a lot of money at quarterback and still have a lot of cap space to make their team even better. Let's pull this image here, courtesy of overthecap.com. This is the cap space, the top 8 teams in the NFL. And if you look down the list, starting from the Patriots, Raiders, Commanders, Cardinals, then the Chargers, then you've got the Bears, the Vikings, and the 49ers. There's really one thing that jumps out at you here is that most of the guys on this list are bad teams. The Patriots, Raiders, you look at the Cardinals, you look at the Bears, right? Most of these teams are pretty bad. Even if you look at, let's say, the Vikings and the 49ers and the Commanders, good teams last year, they had quarterbacks on cheap deals. You got Brock Purdy for the 49ers, Darnold, J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings, and the Commanders with their rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. The two true anomalies are here are the Arizona Cardinals and the Chargers, who both have veteran quarterbacks who they've built and thrown a lot of money at. The Cardinals are still a bad team. The Chargers are not. Obviously, they made the playoffs last year, and they're looking to be even better in 2025, especially as the AFC gets weak. AFC West gets a little weaker as the Chiefs inevitably get a little bit older and a little bit more expensive in their own right. What does this mean? It means the Chargers are set up to make massive moves. They've put themselves in a position where they're great at quarterback, they're great at head coach, they've got the right GM in place. Everything has culminated for them to build off a 10-win season last year and vault into the offseason and upgrade this roster. We're talking multiple playmakers for Herbert. We're talking rebuilding the front four, front seven of this defense, interior offensive line. I like the idea of Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't be surprised if he's a Los Angeles Charger when it's all said and done. There are a lot of options here for the Los Angeles team. They've got unlimited, I don't want to say unlimited opportunities, but they've got a lot of in front of them here with that cap space, with the quarterback situation settled, with the coach situation settled, and they're already a good team with the 10 wins they had last year. The future is incredibly bright in Los Angeles, and give credit to the leadership of the team putting themselves in this situation. Ortiz, Harbaugh, they've done a great job so far and expect big things right around the corner. All right, Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this situation for the Chargers, but Bolts fans, you guys first in the comment section below. Who specifically, if the Chargers only went out and got one player, I know they're going to get more. We talked about why, but if they could only get one player this offseason, let us know who you want them to pick up. Put that guy in the comment section below. All right, Miles, but what are your thoughts on just everything going off the Chargers right now? And maybe who do you think they should get to put this roster in a better place come regular season time?
Yeah, Nick, I think the Chargers are really interesting, especially you talk about they're a team that got quarterback lockdown, obviously the most expensive thing that they're going to have to come through on this roster. And now they're set up to rebuild the other parts, come in and not rebuild, because the point I'm trying to make here is they have some strong cornerstones at every important position on this team, but they have the ability to upgrade the team very, very easily, and they have the resources to do so mainly because of how they have got this team built. Obviously, McConkey is a guy I'd say cornerstone at receiver right now. Very talented guy, looked really good. You can build around him. I think that's a great starting point. Offensive line, you got your bookend tackles right now. Slater doing really good last year. Joe Alt looks very, very bright future for him. You can help add a couple pieces in the middle of the offensive line. Instant upgrade to this team, really make a huge difference. Then you look on the back end of the defense, something important. Derwin James, obviously, him moving down into the slot a little bit more. I think he looked really interesting. Had one of his better seasons of his career last season, ranked 9th per PFF of all of cornerbacks. A really great job there in the secondary. So, like I said, what do they do? They build the front four of this team a little bit differently. They're going to restructure some guys. They'll move off of Bosa most likely. Do they keep Mac? I'm not sure, but I feel like it would still be a good addition to this team. That's an option. They can rebuild there. They can rebuild the interior of the offensive line. They got to go out and get a running back. Maybe Disley seems like a solid tight end, but they could upgrade a superstar tight end. That might be something that's really interesting for them to grab as well. I expect wide receiver to be the big addition here. I know interior offensive line, you could probably get that for not like $1 million billion. You could probably get that for a reasonable price and still go out and get one of these top end wide receivers because there's a lot available right now. If you think about who is around the league, Devontae Adams, rumors of him potentially being available, whether we see what happens with Aaron Rodgers or not. Deebo Samuel is available. A guy, 49ers, Jim Harbaugh, he has a relationship with them there. Maybe something comes of that. Maybe it doesn't. Then obviously Cooper Kupp's available for the Rams. There's just some really savvy, good veteran wide receivers available around the league that I think would make it easy for this team to upgrade the receiver position. That's a position that I would like to see the Chargers go out and upgrade because I think it would really help out this team overall. But like you said, they have set themselves up so well. Credit to Ortiz, credit to Harbaugh. They've come and they've built the team, structured this roster really, really well, and have themselves in a very good position that they're already good, but they still have plenty of room to grow. It's very rare to see a team with a quarterback do that. And I'm really excited that it's the Chargers because this team with Herbert, I really want to see Herbert be successful. He deserves to start getting more of these wins.
Yeah, I think that what's going to happen to the Chargers, I think it's going to play out something like this. Like it's going to be a monster offseason. I think there's going to be just a flurry of activity. Look, they've got $63 million in cap space. If they release or trade Bosa, that frees up $25 million more, which I think is going to happen. Let's say they just cut him and cut their losses. No one wants to trade for him. You're looking at $88 million of cap space. Let's say Trey Smith, the guard for the Chiefs, right? You want to sign him. Let's say you give him a record-setting deal, $25 million. Okay, your interior offensive line just got squared away. T. Higgins for the Bengals. Let's say they screw up that deal. Like the Bengals seems like they're not going to do a great job there. Throw another $25 million at him. Now you're down to $38 million. You've got a great receiver to pair with McConkey. Your interior offensive line is great. Now let's say throw 10, 12 million at Khalil Mack to get him to come back on a short-term deal. Use your first round pick on another edge rusher. It's such an edge rush heavy draft. And even after all of that, right, you've literally fixed all your biggest problems. You still have, when it's all said and done, about $20 million of cap space left. Now you can add some depth and make some moves or hold it on to moves to make later in the regular or later in the offseason and then maybe next year when the cap rolls over. They have so much flexibility that the Chargers here could literally get the Chiefs' best in guard. They could get the Bengals' second best wide receiver as a Pro Bowl guy, bring back Khalil Mack, use a first round pick on an edge rusher, be massively better than they were last year, have a lot of veteran guys coming in with a lot of serious playoff pedigree, and still be in a great position salary cap wise with quarterback, coach, GM all figured out. This Chargers team is set up for long-term success, right? They're going to be really good for a long time. People look at the Chiefs, people look at the Eagles, right? They say, wow, they're in a great spot. You look at the Baltimore Ravens, get a lot of credit for that as well. I think the Chargers are the next team in line just because they're set up so perfectly. Every major box is checked, and they're in a great cap situation with so much flexibility. They're going to make a lot of moves this offseason, be a lot better, and they're going to be set up very nicely for the long term as well. Ortiz has done a great job. Harbaugh's done a great job. This Chargers team is just in a phenomenal position. And if you're an LA fan, you should be very excited by the future of the squad.